for a description.
Good morning.
Happy Friday!
It's Friday. You
Once again, it's Friday.
you know the Step Brothers, where there's the one's behind the other.
At the interview, is that what you feel like?
Yeah.
I think I can help clear up this pan situation.
All right. Hopefully you guys are excited as we are that it's Friday.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we kind of had an extra long weekend, so now it's like it's Friday again. What happened?
I know.
It was just Friday. It was just the weekend. So it's kind of funny when that happens. I'm gonna get to some tagging, Drew. Right away.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about body type. So,
working out for your goals. Right?
That's right. So, first of all, we'll talk about like setting. Yeah, I don't want to talk about setting goals. You know, like turns people off right away. I want to talk about working out for your specific body type. I think that's more important to help people understand that there's different ways to work out. I think most people think there's one way. Like you work out just one way or another. Like you run. That's all you do is run. Or you
I think I have to get my computer.
What's happening?
I can't share the link from my phone. Don't know where my computer is. Oh, it's over there.
I'll get it.
Be right back.
Okay, so working out for your body type or what you're working towards. So we got a couple people in here. We got my mom's in here. Morning, Mom. And then Anna says, good morning, True Formers.
Good morning.
Good morning to you guys. Thank you for joining us live this morning. So we have a little bit of a different topic today. We want to talk about fitness. We usually talk about nutrition, but fitness is super important too.
Yeah, we were discussing our topic and Drew's like, what about fitness? We never talk about fitness. So that's what we'll do.
That's right.
Having an issue over there?
Oh, she could move back just a bit.
Do you want me? Why don't you move forward just a bit?
Because then I'm going to be cut off. My
I
head's
see.
going to be cut off.
Oh, there.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Just go like this.
Okay, let us know how you guys are doing this morning and where you're watching from. It's always nice to know where you're watching from, and even when we're doing the replay as well.
Yeah.
So working out for your body type and what you want to your body type to look like is very different. So this morning we're going to talk about that. I'm going to enjoy my tea while we talk
in your
about
tea,
this.
Drew?
What's always in my tea?
Well, maybe not everybody knows.
This is Ashitabu tea, and this is pu'er tea, and green tea, sencha
Nice.
green tea. And then we got MCT oil in there, C8. So brain fuel.
Yeah. I'm sharing the link on our fitness page for the live video. If you guys shared the link on your personal page, we would really appreciate that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be really awesome.
Okay, so when it comes to, let us know. We got a bunch of comments in there. Oh, we got Susan here. Morning, Susan.
Hey, good morning, Susan.
She says, good morning, everyone. I'm watching from Windsor, Ontario. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Suzanne. And then Mom's watching from Penhold. Awesome. We've got a few other people in here. Let us know where you guys are watching from if you'd like to share that with us. So, okay. So when it comes to working out, there's a number of different things different ways you can work out. But I suppose it's worth mentioning that if you have a specific body type, you can work out specific to that body type. Or if you want to create a specific body type, then you would work out towards that specific body type. So let's take, for example, I used to work at the CLC for quite a few years. I've worked in other gyms, but let's take the CLC in Olds. You would see the same people. All they would do is be running on the treadmill. They'd come there and they'd be killing themselves on the treadmill for like an hour, like red face, sweating, doing a fantastic job. Now, of course, we don't know what they do outside of the gym. We only saw a quick glance at them at the gym. But the thing is that it's pretty difficult to burn body fat just for running. So it does a really good job at first, but resistance training does a much better job of burning body fat. The thing is that most people don't know that, and they think as long as I go to the gym and run for an hour or whatever it is, it could be 15 minutes, could be 40 minutes. I'm just using that as an example, is that they feel like they're going to burn body fat by just running, and that doesn't happen. So you see them with the same body type all the time, and maybe it's different. So I understand, like, you can do that, but it's different. So if you're training for, let's say you just want, like, running is great for healthy lungs and heart. So maybe you have history of heart issues in your family, and you want a strong heart and lungs, so you run. Like, that's a really good idea. Maybe one of your goals is to do a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, or a marathon, whatever it is. If that's your goal, then you run. But the thing is that we don't put, like, our goals or what we're working towards doesn't equal the activity that we're doing. So the actions have to match what we're working towards. Otherwise, it's not going to work out.
I'm just getting to some tags here.
Yeah, that's okay. Joining you from my office. Patio chair overlooking Elk Island National Park in Alberta. Awesome, Anna. Very cool. Suzanne says, "Oh, while I'm thinking about it, my order came." Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. It's always nice to know when orders come. It's always nice to know, like, we actually appreciate when we hear back when orders come, because, like, I know it's more difficult to keep track as we grow and we send more orders out, but it's always like, I never feel like an order is complete until we know it's arrived, because then, or like, whether it's shipped or picked up, I'm always like, did they pick up? Like, do they have it? Do they have everything they need? And then how long did it take the order to get there? It's a bit of a OCD thing. Like, I'm sure a lot of businesses would be like, ship it out, like, and be done with it. But I'm still, like, always thinking about, like, until I know they got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have, many of you know, we have Nick as our assistant, and I'm always asking Nick, I'm like, hey, did their package arrive? So he'll go and check, okay, did their package arrive? And then we send emails. We have a really nice email system. The only issue that we've ran into is sometimes our emails go into the spam folder when we check in, like, hey, here's your tracking number, did your order arrive? And then sometimes people enter in the wrong email address. That's happened a couple times. So then our emails go to the wrong place. Mm-hmm. So that was a bit frustrating, but it's going really well. So thank you, Suzanne, and thank you for your support and letting us know that your order got there.
And I know there's a couple people that recently got orders for the BOGO sale. And Vanda was one of them. I don't know if Vanda's in here this morning. She usually joins us Friday Lives. But she took a picture and posted it. So that's really nice too, when you can do that. And then you take a picture and say, I got my order. Yay.
Yeah, and Annette did that as well.
Oh,
and
thank
Greta
you,
did that.
Perfect. Thank you.
But in our other groups, we have 2 other groups that most of you are in. We do, if you post your picture in the group, then we do a monthly giveaway. Mm-hmm. So we have a little prize for anyone that posts their order in the group. So just nice energy. Let people know you got your order. Let us know, and it's nice to show your excitement too.
So I tagged all those people, but I don't think it worked. Look, it's not blue.
That's frustrating.
How come that happened?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Maybe a Facebook glitch.
Facebook.
You got Jessica's in here this morning too.
Hey, Jessica.
Morning, Jessica. Thanks for joining us, you guys. Thanks for being here live. And if you're watching the replay, let us know that you're watching the replay as well.
Oh, well, on the computer they're tagged.
Okay. Let it go.
Okay, let it go.
So what other example can we use? So the easiest example is to explain how bodybuilding works. Do you want to jump in there?
Sure. I was just, the way I was going to explain was a little bit different than how you explained. Well, not a little bit different, but just, I suppose, a different angle. But So most people, not everybody, but most people that we have seen at the gym or had clients when we were doing personal training, most of their goals were like they wanted to lose weight, like that was the end goal. But a lot of them weren't working out in the most efficient way to lose weight, right? Because like Drew was saying, a lot of a lot of gyms are set up for the bodybuilding world because that's kind of how it got started. It all got started years ago, was when the bodybuilding world, I suppose, was booming. And I mean, I know there's still people out there that are bodybuilders, but it's definitely has decreased, right? There's less bodybuilders now than there once was, like even since like you were in the gyms, right? Like as a kid or as a teenager or young adult. But the gyms, a lot of gyms are still set up for that type of workout, right? With the heavy weights. And so a lot of times we'd have clients come to us and be like, well, I'm working out, but I haven't been seeing the results I want. And then when they share with us how they were working out, it was more of a bodybuilding style. So, meaning heavy weights and low reps and targeted parts of your body, like isolated. So, back day, chest day, leg day, and that's a very traditional way, right, for like a bodybuilder. So, if you want to gain muscle mass and be in the bodybuilding world, that's how you would work out. But when when you have a different goal, maybe you just want to be a little bit more toned, or maybe you want to drop some inches or some pounds, it would look a lot different than that.
Yeah, that's a good way to explain it. So the problem, like, yeah, you did a great job. That's just how it goes. Like most people know, it's just kind of funny. Like I think they have like the Oxygen magazines. Side note is that
Oh yeah, I used to read all those.
I did. I grew up reading those.
Oh yeah,
So
and then like you think that, well, as a woman or as a young girl adult,
impressionable.
you think, oh man, like the women on the front cover. I forget all of those magazines now, but they're magazine. When I was like, 18, 19, early 20s, like magazines were the thing.
Oh, does anyone still read magazines? I'd really like to know. Could you guys let me know in the comments if anyone reads magazines? Because I see them at the grocery store. Like there's always a section, and I'm like, who still reads magazines? But maybe there's still some people that do. I don't know.
Yeah, but I can remember seeing like the trim fit bodybuilder type of person on, like, woman on the front of the magazine, and like being like, oh, I want to be like that. Like, how do I get a body like that? So you turn to that workout section where she shares her workout and you do that. But there's a lot of things that are behind the scenes that we don't even know, right? Like training specifically for that photo shoot would have taken months, right?
Yes, and
For that
then
magazine, and there's
she would be dehydrated and carb depleted. So it really, and then of course they Photoshop. Like let's be real,
right.
Not to take any, like it's hard work, not to take anything away from those fitness models, but they would Photoshop them as well. So, but at any rate, side note is that I interviewed Toscarino. And Toscarino, she's awesome. Like she's super cool. She would come on the show again if I asked her, but she came on Exploring Mind and Body. Some of you know that's nationally syndicated radio show and podcast. So we do talk about holistic health. That's what we do. So she came on the show, and what was her husband's name? Her husband,
I don't remember.
Her late husband, I think he created that magazine, Oxygen magazine, and most people know, like at least in the fitness world, it's probably the top or most popular. Then Flex, those were the two at the time. This was years ago, by the way, but
I read Oxygen all the time.
There's Oxygen for women and Flex for bodybuilding men. And I would read both of those magazines and like look at the supplements and look at the nutrition and look at the workouts. But the workouts, so just going back to what Dorothy said, those workouts are specifically for bodybuilders. So we're like, oh, you want to look like that fitness model, or you want to look like that giant monstrosity,
Giant man.
muscles coming out of his ears, you that's the way you work out. So it's interesting now, like even today with all of our information, even technology, that people are still working out isolated muscle groups instead of full body functional movements, unless your goal is to have bigger biceps, or if your goal is to bench. If you want to bench heavier weight, which is fine. There's a lot of men that like to, like, I don't know too many women that are like trying to see how much they can bench, but like men in particular, it makes them feel like
Manly.
manly and like
Confidence.
it's
right?
it's a confidence booster. It's not just as aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's just
You
not
said
how
that
you
right.
look. Like when you go to the gym, like men, they want to go and like push some heavy weights so like they can like feel proud and like work towards something. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that we still see people that they're probably not going to be a bodybuilder. They probably don't want bigger muscles, but still they're standing there curling their reps, and like curls are specific just for biceps in most cases.
And there's the difference when Drew says bigger muscles as to being toned, right? Like that's different.
It's very different.
Like you don't have to, you can be toned without lifting heavy, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's really hard. That's what we get all the time from women is like, oh, I don't want to work out so much that I'm gonna get big and bulky. Like, it doesn't work like that. It's very hard for anyone to get big and bulky.
So then that would go back to your, when you were first explaining that a lot of people we'd see a lot of people just doing cardio machines, right? And there could be a bunch of different reasons for that. Like Drew just said, well, I don't want to be bulky, so I don't want to lift weights. Or I know when I first started at the gym, it's all I knew how to do. Like the weight section was scary. I'm gonna go over there. There's men like over there, big bulky men lifting heavy weights and grunting. Like, I'm not going over there. I'll just stay over here on the cardio machines. So it could be a combination of different things as to why. But just doing cardio never gave me the results that I suppose I wanted.
Yeah, that's because that's not what you're working towards in most cases, right?
Suzanne says she still reads magazines.
Suzanne, what kind of magazines do you read and buy?
And then Anna says she hasn't read a magazine in years, but she used to.
You used to too.
I used to have a ton of magazines.
Tell them when you go on a trip.
Oh, that was like my little, what'd you say, treat? When we would go like to the airport, it would be always one of my little treats to get a new magazine for the plane.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's great. I used to love magazines. I just don't see too many people with the magazine anymore. But they still sell them, so I'm like, someone's got to be reading them.
Well, and I used to do subscription based. So every month you'd get the new edition in the mail. Did you ever do that?
I did that for ESPN.
Yeah. So every month you'd be like waiting for the new edition to come in your mailbox, and it come in your mailbox. Woo! Come on the magazine.
Let me tell you, I was in college and I subscribed. I don't know how I got reeled into it. It was cheap. It was actually a really good deal at the time, but I didn't have much money like a college student, like an athlete, not really working. And I subscribed to this ESPN magazine, and I don't know how often they came. Once a week, probably more than once a month, right?
My subscription was once a month. Maybe I don't know. Maybe there was ones that were different. I don't know.
So at any rate, I would read because you know it's so different. Like it's completely different when you have money compared to when you don't. Like life is much different, especially how you spend money and use money. And I always say when we started out in fitness classes, I always said that I had zero money, probably negative, but I said you could be the most creative and original having no money trying to market. And that's when it's kind of funny. That's when we had the most. I put the most effort into marketing. Most people now, businesses, all they do is really like put a Facebook ad up. But I was so like I tried to use the money I had very carefully. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna subscribe to this ESPN magazine, I'm gonna read every page.
And Drew had binders of articles he'd save.
I did.
Like those protecting covers.
Oh, that was different.
But you would have recipes in there.
Yeah, That was
Oh,
from,
that was Fitness though.
yeah.
That wasn't ESPN.
So with the ESPN magazines, I would read every single page because I wanted to get my money's worth. But with those, so I worked at a gym, actually in Didsbury, some of you might know. But I was working in Didsbury, and they were throwing out these old stacks of magazines. And I was like, don't throw them out. There's good information in there. So I made a binder, and that, like a recipe area, I pulled out a recipe, put it in my binder. Pulled out, oh, that's a chest workout. Pulled out all the chest workout exercises, and I put them in the binder. And I had little notes.
Oh, that was funny.
Any comments on that?
No.
What did Anna say? Oh,
Oh, just that she hasn't read a magazine in years.
you missed Suzanne's comment
Up top.
about detoxify yourself.
Oh, she says, when is your new book? When will your new book be ready? So we are editing Detoxify Yourself now. So we'll be in the edit phase for a few weeks. Then it'll have to go to the print phase, and then it'll be released. So we're hoping that the second or third edition? The new edition. I think it's the third edition of Detoxify Yourself. Because remember, the first edition had a different picture on the front?
Yes.
Anyway, doesn't matter. We're hoping that it will be ready September?
In September.
September?
So what we're gonna do is we always do a big detox in September, and it goes over amazingly. So we're really hoping to launch the new book, the new edition, and there's going to be a lot to it. Like we've learned a lot over the years. There's going to be a lot more to it. There's going to be new food sections. We're going to add some different foods to it. We're going to add a couple different supplements. We're also going to change the meal plan up a little bit. And then there'll be an exercise section a bit more in depth. So we're adding to certain areas. We're changing a few things up, and we're taking a couple things out. Editing's so hard. Like I could sit there and write all day. I do write every day, but I could do that all day without a problem. But like going back and editing and refining and punctuation, it is misery. I think that's why people hire editors.
Yeah.
But we do that. So Dorothy and I have committed to doing that. We work on it every single day. So we're hoping to get it all in before September, so we can get it to the printers and then officially launch the new version. And then we'll do our proper detox around it. You don't have to join the detox. It's a group detox. Most of you know. It's a private group detox, and you guys can join us, and you'll get a book in the package, or you can buy that on its own.
So yeah, you don't have to join. To get the book, you don't have to join the detox. That's what you were saying.
Yes.
Suzanne says she has a homemaking magazine with recipes, and she has one called the Philadelphia Trumpet that she gets 4 times a year.
What is that? What's that, Suzanne?
I don't know now.
The Philadelphia Trumpet.
I must tell her all the news from Philadelphia.
Okay, so I guess what we're saying is that now, depending on what you're working towards or what kind of body type you have, that's what you're working towards. So I've mentioned here in the past is that everyone has different body types. So for me, my body type, my metabolism is really quick. So Dorothy runs all the time. And if I were to run all the time, I would lose, because of like how many calories you burn. My body burns calories without even doing anything. Don't get angry. We talked about heart gainers last week. But so for me to be like, okay, I want to go run with you every day, that doesn't meet my goals, or doesn't meet the body type that I want to present. Mm-hmm. So you have to understand. So I have to work out a little bit differently than Dorothy, and Dorothy has a different goal.
That's right. So I'll be running my first marathon in September. So right now, my workouts, because that's my goal. So it's not just about what body type you have, it's about your goal too.
Yeah.
Right?
People don't like to talk about goals.
No, we won't talk about goals because people don't like talking about goals. But my goal right now is the marathon in September. So most of my workouts are running based, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of my time is spent running. And then when I do a workout, it's not going to focus on I don't focus on building big muscle, right? Like I'm not going to be lifting a ton of weights or I'm going to be doing more functional exercises that will help me be better at running, right? And focus more on those fast twitch muscles, right? So that I can run better, right?
Right, so it doesn't make any sense for Dorothy to be lifting heavy and low reps. But that's what some people would do. So some people would still, they're like, okay, I want to become a better runner. I'm going to run every day. And then they're going to be in the gym, like lifting heavy weights. Like, it just doesn't add up. So I guess what we're trying to explain here is that your workouts should replicate whatever goals you're working towards, if you have any. And if you don't, they should be similar. They should align with the body type that you're working towards. Because in most cases, people are working towards a body type, right?
Right.
Like you want to be some like we talked about men, but there's some women as well that want to be a bit bulkier. They want to be muscular. So that those workouts should replicate what you're looking for. And then some women want to be more toned and want to be like, I hear like sometimes we hear like some women are like, oh, I want to have like nice triceps, or I want to have like lines in my shoulders. You know, like that's more tone, for example. So when we're sitting across in a consultation from someone, we know that they're okay. They want to be more toned. That's one of their goals. So the reps got to go up and the weights got to be lighter.
Got to go down.
And then some, and then it's the exact opposite. Like I want to be a bit more bulky. I might want to be. So that's less cardio. Food needs to change a little bit as well. And then workouts change, less cardio and then heavier weights to gain some muscle mass. So it's very different for each particular person. You just have the problem of the two worlds not aligning.
Yeah, that's often when people reach out to us and say, well, I'm not getting the results I want. Usually it's because their workouts and a lot of times the food doesn't align with the goal or what you're looking to achieve.
Food would be a good time. Like, would be a good time to talk about food. So you want to mention your bulking stage?
Suzanne just says that the Philadelphia Trumpet is a Christian magazine that she gets quarterly, 4 times a year. Thanks for sharing with us, Suzanne.
I gotta tell you real quick. Sorry. Suzanne actually called us. We did a couple of FaceTimes with her. I thought that was really neat. Because you don't see people anymore. And no one wants to call. Like, no one wants to talk on the phone. But it was really nice when Suzanne actually called us and was like, hey, guys.
You know what's funny is, Suzanne, when your call was first coming through, I was like, oh, she must have, like, pocket dialed or something. Right? Like,
that's an accident.
Because nobody calls anymore. So when somebody does call you, you think that, oh, it's probably an accident. Like, you pushed the button by accident or something.
Or we've even tried to tell people, like, hey, like, messaging back and forth, and you're just not communicating, it's not connecting. And then we say, hey, do you want to jump on a quick call? We can figure this out real quick. And then, like, either no answer or some excuse. Oh, actually, I got to go. Or, nah, let's just type.
Yeah.
It's just funny. It's just a different world we live in when people don't really want to talk on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Most people. There are still some people that would rather have phone call. You know, it's interesting in business because we have to learn kind of like what type of communication that people like. Some people like email, some people like text, some people do still like the phone calls.
Facebook.
Yeah, some people prefer Messenger, like Facebook Messenger. So we have to try our best to figure that out. So if you are trying to communicate with us and it's not in the form that you would like, just let us know and we will change that. So if we've been emailing you and you're like, oh, well, I would rather have a phone call, which hardly ever happens, but let us know.
Email's been a tough one. I don't think a lot of people use email.
Not anymore.
Like we're trying to get our ordering system through email because if I'm not around, like you have to remove bottlenecks in business, like what's holding you back. So like if I'm not able to specifically answer a message about ordering, then we don't get an order.
Mm.
But there's so many orders coming in, I can't take all the orders right now. So we're trying to get people to email, and like it's not because I don't want to talk to people, or not because it's just it's just a smoother process if we can get it all done through email, because then we have a bit of an automated system that's like, okay, here's your pickup date, okay, here's how you put through payment. So, but getting people from Facebook Messenger being like, here's my order, here's the order form, to doing it through email, it's a bit of a challenge because people are just used to doing everything through Facebook.
Right. Mm-hmm. Suzanne says she really dislikes typing or texting. She would prefer to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And then Anne says, years ago I trained a group of runners for the death race. Woo. It's a 24-hour relay through northern wilderness and no trails. I had them also do yoga stretches and functional body resistance training in boot camp, and they thought I was nuts. They all completed the race without injury and thanked me after. It's so true, though, right? Because we were talking earlier. Tell them about like professional athletes, and like we were talking about some NFL guys.
It's just that
we're like doing
people just
dancing.
Tell them.
Yeah, tell them.
People just don't know what it's like to train at high levels, and I think that you get something in your mind, and you can't really talk people out of it.
Mm.
It's challenging. Like really, athletes. Like if you look at professional athletes, like I played at the professional level, I know what it's like, but you try to explain that to lower levels that don't know what it's like, and they just have a mindset. So if you look at hockey, for example. And not to knock hockey at all. Like when we trained some of the hockey athletes, they were some of the best athletes around. Like they had really good form. They squatted well. They were quite athletic. But that's what they know, right? They know to squat and they know to bench. But then you go and try to teach them about core work, stability, coordination, and it's such a different mindset for them. And they just want to fight it the whole time. They're just like, no, all we do is bench and squat. Like we're strong and so.
And just one thing before you go on. And with athletes, it's different as well because they have in-season and off-season.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it was like interesting to try to teach them the difference in training. Like you're not going to lift heavy in-season training, right? But that's what a lot of them wanted to do. They're like, no, we only know how to lift heavy. And like, that's not what you do in season.
They didn't know any better. No one taught them any different at a younger age. Probably their hockey camps. And it's not just hockey, but I was mentioning hockey because it's quite popular in Alberta, but also because the athletes, they're really good athletes. But if they could train for their season and if they could train for their body type, like for example, like if you're a speed position, then you train your speed position. And then, I mean, of course you have to balance that with strength, but it's really difficult to help them understand. So like NFL football players, they'll do dance classes or ballet classes so they can get better with their feet. It sounds funny to you, right?
It sounds so funny to me. Yeah. Because most of the NFL guys, I mean, depending on what position they are in, but most of them are like big guys.
Yeah.
And then see, like,
it's not like that, though.
Trying to picture them doing like little twinkle toe exercises.
Dancing with the stars.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you have yoga. Like we did yoga, we did Pilates types of exercises, and that's what you could see them training like at high levels. But bring that down to lower levels, like college levels, or I say college levels. Like the younger ones, like 14 to 16, are my favorite group to work with so far. They just do what they're told. But the older ones, like 18 to 25, they know everything.
Well, because they have it in their mind a certain way, and they don't want to like do something different, right?
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's the progression of how it used to be. Is that you just lift you just lift heavy, and you do isolation muscle groups to your combinations of your different exercises. But then you try to. So then sometimes we have people go through our workouts, and they're still like, oh, well, I gotta lift heavy too. Like I gotta do your workouts, then I gotta lift weights. Like, no, you don't. Unless that's your specific goal is to gain some mass. But most people, it's not.
Susan says that she has to go. She has a busy day to get ready to go on vacation. She's leaving tomorrow.
Awesome. Enjoy your vacation, yes, Suzanne.
Enjoy. Thanks for joining in. She says she'll finish watching the replay later. Awesome. Thanks, Suzanne. Have fun on your vacation.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about food for a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah.
So nutrition has to match whatever you're working towards. And when I say whatever you're working towards, I feel like I personally like an actionable goal. I think it's when I say you're working towards something, I feel like it has to be actionable. Do you understand? You know what I mean? Like when you're working towards a marathon, you're working towards like handstands I was doing. Like you're working toward an action like slacklining. I want to get better at slacklining. This is exactly what I want to do. Like it's a goal. It's an actionable, almost a skill, but it doesn't have to be a skill. But that's it, like when people say, "Oh, I just want to gain some weight, like muscle mass," like it's pretty difficult. Like you don't have something clear to work towards. If you're saying, "I want to lose some weight," like who wakes up and is like, "Can't wait to lose some weight today"?
Yeah.
Nobody says that. They say, "I can't wait to crush my marathon," which means I'm going to have to get up and do this run today.
Yeah. It's funny because people would come to us with that goal, right? Like, what's your goal? Well, I want to lose weight. We would say, we would turn around and say, well, we need to, like, that's not, we need another goal. Like, that's not a goal. And they'd look at it so funny when
Who's that?
Well, when we were in the gym more often and training people, that's one of the first questions when we had a consultation with people would be, what's your goal? And a lot of times, well, I want to lose some weight. And we'd be like, well, that's not a goal. We need a different,
Well, yeah, most people don't know. Like, they don't know what to work towards or what they want to achieve. They just kind of show up and, like, I'm supposed to work out to be healthy or lose weight. What do I do? So the first thing is to set your sights on something so you're working towards something.
I think that's one of the reasons why I get so empowered by running. It's because there's like a clear goal and like a clear end, right? Like the marathon. It's coming. Like no matter, like you can't put it off because there's a date and there's a time that you have to show up and do it, right? Like you can't put it off.
That's probably why you like running. It's very structured.
Yeah.
Like this is exactly how far I'm running. This is exactly like on your training days. This is exactly how long I'm running for. You can even probably plan your route. Dorothy's a planner.
I do. Like especially for my long runs. Often it's before the day before my long run, like training days, usually Saturday or Sunday. I don't sleep that well because I'm up and I'm like, okay, how okay. Like last week was what, 26 kilometers. So I'm like, okay, from this point to this point is 8 kilometers. So if I do that loop twice, then that's 16. Okay, now I need 10 more. So I need to go out here and out and back. That'll be 10. Okay, like, and that's what my mind is doing. Or should I do this way and go that way? Like it's like just like crazy, crazy.
So your nutrition also has to equal your action, whatever your action is. So if your action is, see, that's why I said it's really hard for people to be big and bulky. Like it's just so rare. It just doesn't happen like that because you have to eat specifically and you have to work out specifically. So if you want to be big and bulky, you eat high calorie meals, and I would even say at less times of a day, and then you have to work out. So low reps, heavy weights. And how many people are doing that? Very few. Mm-hmm. Even some people are going like, oh, I want to be a little bit bulkier, and they'll go and do a treadmill. Like, that's not going to work out. So Dorothy has a quick story she could tell you.
Oh, about bulking?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so hard. I didn't realize like how hard it was to gain that much, right?
To gain a lot of weight?
Yeah.
Because you can gain a little bit of weight without a problem.
Yes. But when I was competing in the fitness world, so you have to do a bulking stage, right? It's so crazy how it messes like with your mind, like that whole world, because there's a bulking stage, and then after your bulking stage is the like cutting stage, and you cut so far down, like basically to nothing. So it's like opposite ends of the spectrum, and then you start your bulking stage again. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. But during the bulking stage, I never done that before, like a bulking stage. And it's just crazy how much food you have to eat in a day. I remember being like at the end of the day needing still, I don't know, let's say I still needed like 500 calories, and I'd be sitting there like, my jaw hurts from eating so much today. Yeah. But you have to adjust. I had to adjust based on the goal, and it was pretty uncomfortable, to be honest.
Yeah, so you have to. So in the bulking stage, you're cutting body fat, but you need as much muscle as possible before you cut. So with muscle comes body fat. So you have to bulk up as much as you can with muscle and body fat, because when you cut down, you're also going to cut down some muscle. So you want to be as muscular and thin as possible, but to do that, you have to go through a bulking stage, which is what Dorothy went through. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's really difficult to like make yourself eat. Most people eat one way. Like that's how they've always eaten, which is always the challenge when they come to us and we're like, okay, this is how you change your eating habits. I don't want to have breakfast. I don't want to eat multiple times a day, because most people eat for a slow metabolism.
To be honest, most people don't. Like, the biggest change we saw that people needed to make was to eat more food. And most people don't eat enough food.
Most people eat for a slow metabolism. They do. I think it just came to me. I was like, wow. Because if you eat bigger meals less times a day, that will slow your metabolism. So for example, if you have a little snack at 10 o'clock and then you have a big lunch and then you have a big dinner, or if you have a 10 o'clock, I don't know how do most people eat. They just kind of pick at food. Maybe breakfast, small lunch.
I think less people than we think eat breakfast.
Yeah. So if you have lunch and then dinner, like a big dinner, you're eating. I would say your goal is to slow your metabolism if that's how you're eating. If you want to slow your metabolism, then you're going to gain body fat.
How do you think that mindset of like less food, the skinnier I'll be? You know what I mean? Like, because most people think if I eat more food, then I'm going to gain more weight, but that's not how it works. I mean, unless we're eating like pizza and cheeseburgers and cheesecake and all of those processed, fatty, no good for us food.
We got a comment there.
Hilda says she has to go, but she'll catch the rest later.
Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to wrap things up here right away as well. Let's just finish this nutrition part. Are you a scientist? They said on TikTok. No, we're not scientists, but thank you for asking. We're live on TikTok.
Thanks for letting me know that.
Last time I told you that, you freaked out.
That's wonderful.
Oh my gosh. What were we saying? Eating?
You were talking about eating, yeah. About nutrition. I don't know where you ended off.
So,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, but that's what you got to do.
About
slowing your metabolism.
You had that revelation. Most people eat for a slow metabolism.
Yeah. Most people eat for. So if I looked at your meal plan, or if we had the conversation and you said, here's my meal plan. Have a little snack in the morning. I have maybe a small or big lunch, whatever it is, and then a big dinner. And I would say, oh, you're trying to gain weight. But then try to change the mindset of people that are like, okay, you got to eat breakfast, you got to have snack, we have to find a way to speed up our metabolism. Well, people have been eating that same way for 20, 30, 40 years, and try to change that, there's a whole lot of resistance going on there.
It's funny because, Dawn, I don't think she's in here tuning in today, but she pops in every once in a while to our lives. But she recently has changed her lifestyle and has lost a ton of weight. She's worked really hard. She's gonna do the half marathon in Calgary when I'm doing the full marathon. But anyway, a recent post that she put up was that in order to make the changes that she's made, she's had to change her mindset.
That's very
none of the changes came right until she changed her mindset.
Yeah.
So we kind of, yeah.
You have to become one with an open mind. So one of our favorite quotes is, if you want something you never had,
you must be willing to do something that you've never done.
So the thing is that most people will come and like there's the same body weight, the same structure, like never really confident, happy with their body type, but not willing to change either. Like not willing to change. Hey, you want to change your workouts? Nah, don't really want to work out. You want to eat some breakfast? No, don't eat breakfast. So you're like, don't think I can help you. So you have to come in with an open mind if you want to see a change or make a change.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
I think we have covered most everything here.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yes.
If you're letting us know. If you are watching the replay, let us know. We do have a new product release that's gonna come up in our Fit Fam first on Sunday. Every Sunday we do a Success Sunday.
So this Sunday we'll announce that to our fitness family, and then after that we'll announce it to the public.
Yeah, distributors first.
Distributors, Fit Fam, then public.
Isn't Fit Fam first?
Well, if you want it to be.
Anna says thanks.
You're welcome, Anna. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great weekend. All right, you're welcome. That's all we got. Thank you guys so much. We hope you have a great weekend, and we will catch you later on social media.
If not before next week. Next Friday.
Same place, same time.
That's right.
Same bad channel.
Bye,
Bye, everyone.